What are all the permissible places to make dua while making salah? So there's an agreement that you can make dua in sajda, and you can make dua after dua Ibrahimiyya. So after you do do tashahhud, at-tayyatu lillah, and then you do Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. After you complete those, you can make dua, or you can make dua in the sajda. There's khilaf about making dua in ruku', and I would avoid it. You can make dua after coming up from ruku', when you say when the imam says Sami Allahu liman hamida, or if you're praying alone, you say Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarak fihi. It's like it's a place to make qunut. So all of these are permissible places to make dua. Do you know of any institutes in the area that teach Quranic Arabic that helps one understand the language of the Quran, or would be better to learn the Arabic language? So over here, when it comes to institutes, I know of two in the area. I think Tanweer teaches Arabic, and Fawakih teaches Arabic. Inshallah, we're actually going to be having 2 Arabic classes starting here at Al-Hijrah after Ramadan. So if you're interested in joining and signing up for those classes, inshallah, will be available after Ramadan. What madhab does Al-Hijrah predominantly follow? Has this changed over time? I've only been here for 3 years, so I cannot speak on historically the madhab that was mostly followed here. But there is no specific madhab that we follow. There are different imams have different madhabs. I myself am Hanbali. Sheikh Mahmoud was here, he was Shafi'i. And then we had other mashayikh who were here before us. I don't know, but what do? We don't follow as an institution. We don't follow a particular madhab because everybody has their own madhab. What we try to do is we try to implement positions and rulings from different madhahib that cater to the community, that allow a little bit more room. An example today, for example, somebody had asked me, can we combine Jummah with Asr? I said, yes, we can, even though in my madhab, in the Hanbali madhab, you cannot. You can't combine Jummah with Asr, but we will allow it, and we're going to do it, inshallah, because it is something that the other madhahib allow. So, do we impose any madhab on anyone? No, absolutely, we do not. We try to take the most open opinions so that we can cater to the community best. Another place that this is represented, for example, what's interesting, we're combining Jummah and Asr is an interesting issue that I said that it is against the madhab, but we also start Jummah prayers before Dhuhr time, which is part of the madhab, right? And that's unique to the Hanbali madhab. Praying in the library, for example, that's praying ahead of the imam. In the Maliki madhab, that's okay. So again, what madhab do we follow? It's we choose what is convenient and works for the community, and that allows for more opportunities so that people can navigate with a bigger space. So like I said, we don't impose any particular madhab on anyone, and we try to cater to as many of the madhahib as possible in the masjid. Can you explain khilaf mu'tabar and ghayr mu'tabar? So, for example, in the use of qiyas in certain masail, if you talk about analogy, the Zahiriyya in general don't use it. So whenever they have an opinion that has to do with qiyas, we would say that the khilaf in that issue would be ghayr mu'tabar, right? It's not something that would be acceptable. Or if it's an issue that is no longer utilized or something that is no longer accepted. In the early Kufan school, they used to allow the drinking of nabidh, right? So nabidh was a type of fermented date drink, and this was the early Kufan school. That khilaf is no longer considered acceptable. So that would be something that would be considered ghayr mu'tabar. So these are a few examples of that. Like I said, in terms of a principle on when this can apply and when it can't apply, there are different schools of thought around different issues. So if you have something that is within the 4 madhahib, that is mu'tabar. That is something that would be acceptable. And if you have something that falls outside of those, sometimes the Zahiri opinions are accepted if they have to do with Quran, Sunnah, or Ijma'. But if it's something based on qiyas, then many times that would be considered something that is shadh, or something that is anomalous, and something that would be rejected. What are the 5 ahkam and their meanings? So there are 2 categories of ahkam. There's ahkam taklifiyya and ahkam al-wad'iyya. Ahkam al-taklifiyya are what have to do with halal and haram, and they have to do with the person, in the individual themselves. And these are like wajib, mustahab, mubah, makruh, and haram. So these 5 are what we would call the ahkam taklifiyya. And what is the difference between them? Wajib, this is something that a Muslim must do, meaning if he does it, he's rewarded, and if he doesn't do it, he is punished. Yani there's a sin that's upon him. Mustahab is recommended. If he does it, he's rewarded. If he doesn't do it, there is nothing. Mubah, there is no reward and there is no punishment. Makruh, if an individual avoids it, if he stays away from it, he is rewarded. And if he does it, there is no punishment. And haram, if a person does it, then he is punished. And if he avoids it, he is rewarded. An example of each. Wajib, prayer, salah. If an individual prays, he is rewarded. And if he doesn't pray, he has a sin. An example of mustahab, using the siwak. If a person uses the siwak, he is rewarded. If I don't use siwak, nothing happens. Mubah, drinking water. I'm thirsty, I drink a glass of water. Am I rewarded? No. Is there a sin? No. Makruh. What's a good example of makruh? Ahsant, jazakallah khair. Eating garlic or something that has a very strong smell before coming to the masjid. So if I don't eat garlic purposely, right? If I avoid any food that smells and I make sure I smell nice and I come to the masjid, then I am rewarded. Like if I eat garlic and I come to the masjid, nothing, right? There's no sin. Haram, lying. If a person lies, this is a sin. And if I avoid lying, if I'm in a situation where I can lie and I avoid it, what happens? I get rewarded. So this is how, these are the 5 ahkam taklifiyah. Inshallah, next time we'll talk about ahkam wad'iyah. And this has to do with the person, when we talk about like how, if the person is rewarded or if they are punished. The ahkam wad'iyah have to do more with the actions themselves and transactions. And we'll talk about those next time, inshallah. Wallahu a'lam.